Good morning, students. So we have come to the next part of your topic, which is stigma. So let us see how stigma originated. What is the origin of stigma? Stigma originated in Greece. Okay, the Greek people, they wanted to differentiate between people. Even in our society there are criminals, there are good people, bad people. In those days there were slaves, there were criminals. So the Greek people wanted to differentiate between normal people and these slaves, criminals, and social outcasts. So these people were given cuts or burns on their body. So anybody who looked at them, if they had this kind of cut or burns, they were identified as people who are slaves or criminals. So that is how the word stigma came about. So people over the years, this word stigma has changed from people who are slaves or criminals to even diseases. It has been used to label people as having stigma. Okay, so let's see the definition of stigma. Stigma refers to a negative condition or an attribute or a trait or a behavior. Okay, so the definition of stigma does not mean that it is only for medical people, it is for general population. It talks about a negative condition, it talks about a negative attribute or a negative trait or negative behavior. So that means a person who is deviant or abnormal, who is not normal, they are considered to be having this stigma. These people are socially or culturally abnormal. Okay, they are not normal. So it can also be defined as a strong unfair feeling of disapproval. Okay, a strong feeling, it is an unfair feeling. What is fair? Fair means you are being correct. Okay, unfair means it is wrong. So for example, if your teacher, when you have done all your homework correctly, when your teacher still punishes you, that is unfair. So if the teacher gives you 100 out of 100 for finishing your assignments, that means it is fair. So strong unfair feeling of disapproval is what is stigma. So here in our course we are studying about a disease which causes stigma. So let's see what are the causes and consequences of stigma in the health context. Causes means what causes stigma, and the consequences. Consequences means what are the results of stigma. So first thing, in the health context, some diseases cause stigma. For example, mental illness. Even when you are a child, you will scold some people as saying mad fellow. That means you are telling that they are mad. Means you are scolding somebody using the term mad. So you are saying that it's a derogatory term, that is a negative term. Similarly, diseases which are sexually transmitted diseases, they are also considered to be stigmatized. On the other hand, if you have appendicitis, if you have typhoid, jaundice or flu, you are not stigmatized. So diseases like mental illness, sexually transmitted diseases, leprosy, Ebola virus, coronavirus, these are all diseases that are having a lot of stigma attached to it. Even in the diseases like cancer, some cancers have stigma attached to them. For example, a person may have throat cancer, a person may have lung cancer, a person may have colon cancer or stomach cancer. People who have throat cancer and lung cancer are considered or often stigmatized because generally the population feels only people who smoke can get lung cancer. So within one type of disease, some people are stigmatized. So let us see what are the consequences. How does this stigma occur? So when you label a person as being different from you and exclude the person, then that is called stigma. For example, coronavirus is a very apt example. Here we see that we are excluding people with coronavirus from the society. One example is a doctor who was not buried in Chennai because he died of coronavirus. So he was treated differently. when thousands of other doctors who have died before him were given a normal burial, this doctor was not allowed to be buried because he had coronavirus. So he was treated differently and excluded from the society. So when you label a person as suffering from some disease and you treat the person differently and you exclude the person from the society, then you are stigmatizing that person. Okay, stigma is usually for some disease, and it especially occurs in marginalized people. For example, if a normal person has HIV/AIDS, other people, if a rich person who is normal, who is having a nice job, if he is having HIV/AIDS, many people may not stigmatize the person. If on the other hand, if a poor person who has less money, who is from a homosexual community, if that person has HIV/AIDS, they will be stigmatized more. Okay, sometimes even health professionals think of certain conditions and disabilities as stigmatizing. So one example is coronavirus. Even people in the health profession stigmatize other people who are suffering from coronavirus. Okay, so we'll see what are the types of stigma. There are mainly 3 types of stigma that we are going to study about. The first type of stigma is the enacted stigma. Enacted stigma is something where people in the society discriminate somebody who is having a particular disease. For example, if one of your classmates has coronavirus, what will you all do? You will isolate the person. So you are actively doing a discrimination to that person. So this is called enacted stigma. Instead of doing this stigma, how can you include the person who is suffering from coronavirus? You can wear mask, you can wear gloves, you can wear personal protective equipment, and you can also tell the person who is suffering from the disease to wear the same things, and then you can live a normal life. That means you will remove the stigma. But here, if you isolate the person because of being suffering from a disease, then you are causing stigma, and that is enacted stigma. Okay, some stigma which is actively caused by people who are surrounding a person suffering from disease is called enacted stigma. And when this kind of stigma is there, it can lead to loss of jobs, denial of opportunities. It can also lead to abuse and violence. For example, we know that the doctor in Chennai, when he was buried, there was a lot of violence. People started throwing stones and hitting with wood. So these are all things which can happen because of enacted stigma. The next thing is not a real stigma, but it is a imagined stigma. So when a person is suffering from a particular disease, they themselves isolate. For example, I told you, if one of you are suffering from coronavirus, the others, if you isolate that person, that is called enacted stigma. Here in felt stigma, the other people are not stigmatizing the person, but the person who is suffering from the disease themselves, they are isolating. That is called self-isolation. That person itself feels low, that person feels negative about himself, and he hides his disease, or he hides himself from other people. That is called felt stigma. So felt stigma are usually feelings of shame, it is a feeling of guilt, it is a feeling of depression, and the person's behavior will change, and the person will withdraw from the society, and the person will not be willing to talk to other people because of self-isolation. So that is what we see in our society. A lot of times, especially leprosy patients, if they are diagnosed with leprosy, they themselves feel guilty and they feel depressed. They do not talk to other people at all. So we'll see the next type of stigma. The third type of stigma is, I'll just give you an example. If a person is suffering from coronavirus, not only is that person affected in the society, but the whole family is affected. Okay, so it is not just one person who has stigma, but the people around that person, who works with that person, who are lives with that person, and the family members of that person, they all suffer from stigma. That is called courtesy stigma, or in other words, it is stigma by association. Because one person is associated with another person with stigma, this person is also stigmatized because of their direct relationship to the sick person. So the family, other than the individual who is suffering from a disease, the family also has to suffer feelings of shame and guilt. So this is called as courtesy stigma. Okay. So now we'll see what are the methods in which we can tackle or overcome stigma. See, when you get rid of stigma, it is beneficial to all the people. It is beneficial to the society. It is also beneficial to the people who are suffering from stigma. So, for example, when you reduce the stigma of diseases, that means you are including people in the society. So, if there is, for example, in coronavirus, if you get rid of the stigma around coronavirus, then more people who are suffering from cold will come to test for coronavirus. They can be easily identified early and given proper treatment, so the spread of the disease can be reduced. I hope you understood this. When there is no stigma, you can identify diseases early, provide early treatment, and that will help the society by controlling the disease. Okay, so that is one important aspect of why we should tackle stigma. Okay, so how do we overcome the stigma? The first way in which you can do is by changing the attitude and the behavior of people. Whose attitude and behavior have to be changed? The people in the society who are around a stigmatized person, they have to change their attitude, they have to change their behavior. So instead of having negative feelings towards a stigmatized person, they should have positive feelings. Same way, a person who has felt stigma, that is imagined stigma, that person also should reduce it by overcoming that stigma that he himself is feeling. Okay, so now we'll see how we can overcome, methods in which we can overcome the stigma. The first way is the government can make laws against stigma. There are so many laws in the country against stigmatizing HIV/AIDS patient. For example, you cannot deny treatment to a person who is diagnosed as HIV/AIDS. Even for coronavirus, now the government is making rules to ensure that every doctor will treat people with coronavirus. A doctor cannot deny treatment for a person who is suffering from coronavirus. So these laws ensure that everybody is equal and the rights of a person who is suffering from a disease is not denied, and the people are not abused. They are not violence is not done against them. So laws can be made to overcome stigma. This will help in some ways because it will change the behavior of people. But at the same time, one negative thing is it cannot change the attitude of people. What is attitude and behavior? Attitude is what you feel inside your body. Behavior is how you show it outside. So when you have laws against stigma, your behavior may change, but your attitude may not still change. So laws can only help up to a certain extent. The next way in which you can overcome stigma is by education. Education is nothing but health education, awareness campaigns, and when you have these awareness campaigns, the general public will be able to understand more about the disease and they will stop stigmatizing people. Okay, for example, Karigiri has done a lot of awareness campaigns against stigma and discrimination against leprosy. Okay, so this has helped to improve the attitude of the people in the surrounding villages and even in Vellore. So now leprosy people are not stigmatized too much. Okay, but there are some negative aspects about education, because when you do awareness campaigns, you are trying to portray the person who is suffering from stigma as some other person. Okay, so that othering of the person, you are not including the person, but you are trying to show them as a different person, and then you are trying to include them. So that is something a little negative about education to overcome stigma. The next thing we have to do is change the language. For example, a lot of words that we use against people who suffer from mental illnesses, leprosy, coronavirus, these words are derogatory and negative in nature. They discriminate. The words itself discriminate people and it labels the people. You all have labels on your book. Okay, why do you have label? You want to know what book it is. But as normal people, do you write your name and put it on your forehead and walk? No. But when we see a person with mental illness, with schizophrenia, you tell he is a schizophrenic. So instead you should say person with schizophrenia. Similarly, instead of telling words like leper, where you are labeling a person using the disease, instead you can say person affected by leprosy, which is the correct method of addressing the person. So by using the right words, right language, you can overcome stigma. Then the next thing is public acknowledgement. Okay, so what is public acknowledgement? Suppose a lot of people are suffering from mental disease. Will they all come out and tell publicly that they are suffering from mental disease? Most of them will not do. But in the last few years, what has happened is many celebrities, who are celebrities, film stars, sports people, these people have come and publicly told that they are suffering from mental disorders, depression, anxiety and other things. So that means they are overcoming their embarrassment, overcoming their stigma and telling things publicly. This has allowed other people, normal people who are suffering from similar mental illnesses like depression, to come out and tell that they also suffer from these mental illnesses. So over a period of time, such public acknowledgement of mental illnesses and other diseases can help in overcoming the stigma surrounding a particular disease. Finally, the last way in which you can overcome stigma is by providing treatment to the person suffering from a particular disease which is stigmatizing. For example, if a person is suffering from coronavirus, once the person is treated and the person becomes normal, then nobody is going to stigmatize the person. Similarly, if a person is having a disability or an ulcer or a mental illness which is causing stigma, then proper treatment of that disease and overcoming that disease and curing the disease can also reduce stigma. Okay, but there is one controversy in this. For example, when we do cosmetic surgery to correct certain facial features which are wrong, like for example in leprosy there is collapse of nose. So when you do surgery to correct this collapse of nose, there is a lot of risk involved during the surgery. Okay, and there are no medical benefits. It's only a cosmetic benefit. It only changes the feature of the person. It does not overcome the disease itself. So here we are doing an intervention that will help in overcoming stigma. But is it right for us to put the patient through a risk of undergoing a medical procedure rather than changing the community to accept the person with the deformity itself? So that is a controversy and a question that we don't have answer for at present. Okay, so as we come to the end of this topic, there is an assignment for you. You just have to write or type out a one-page note on what are the steps taken by the state and central government to overcome the stigma caused by coronavirus. So you read up on how stigma is caused by coronavirus and what are the rules or what are the ways in which the government is trying to overcome this stigma caused by coronavirus. Thank you.